What's up, guys? Back at it with another video. Team C4, you know who it is. This time I got the boy Brigham with first place deck profile. What you play, bro?
Mutant Ghoti, my own special deck. I saw some deck profiles for it online and wanted to try it myself. So,
Hey, bro, let's get it going then.
all right. So what I'm going to start off with, we got Mutant MO5, the main starter for Mutant. If it's normal special summoned, you can add a Mutant monster from deck to hand, and then the average tribute, banish one from hand to summon one of the boss monsters. I got 2 of ST46. Normal special summon, add a Mutant Spell or Trap. What's up? Oh, flip it. Add a Mutant Spell or Trap. And same thing with MO5, tribute banish to special summon one of the boss monsters. 1 mutant, if you control a mutant, special summon, can do the mutant ability from deck where it tributes and can banish from deck to bring out one of the mutant boss monsters, but you take the damage of the attack of the boss monster that you summon. So it's a little bit of a risk, you gotta be ready for it.
So all the little mutants bring out the big mutants?
Yes, sir. And then Beast. You banish a monster from any of the mutant effects, you get Beast. Cannot be targeted by monster effects. If a spell is activated, you can negate and banish it by banishing something on hand or field. And then if it is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add a mutant trap back to hand if it is banished. I run 1 Mist. Cannot be targeted by spells. Summoned by banishing a spell. If a trap card is activated, you can banish from hand or field, draw 2. And then if you destroy it with a opponent's card effect, you can add a banished mutant monster. And then you got Arsenal. Banish a trap, get this, cannot be targeted by trap effects. If a monster effect is activated on the field while you control this, banish from hand or field, banish a monster on field. Does not negate, would be really good if it negated, but it does not. If it is destroyed by opponent's card effect, target one of your banished mutant spells, add it back to hand. Running 2 of the Evolution Lab, field spell for the mutants. When it's activated, you can take from hand or banish a level 4 or lower mutant monster, special summon it. So you get any of the mutant ST46 or MO5 on summon effects from using it. And then if you have a mutant monster in your hand, you can activate this on the second effect to put it on the bottom, and then you can draw one. Saves you a lot of the time when you have a bad draw on one of the mutant boss monsters. Running 2 Mutant Cry, some would run it at 3. I think it's better at 2 in this specific deck. You can activate it to shuffle from banished, graveyard, or on field. And it will fusion summon any of the mutant boss monsters, and I will show those a bit later. Running 2 Expansion. When it's activated, you can take from deck and either special summon or add to hand a level 4 or lower mutant monster. So you can either special summon it to get the effects of the normal special summons from the others, or add it to hand so you can have it ready for next turn. Running 1 Mutant Clash. If this is activated, you can target a monster on the opponent's side of the field, banish one of the any mutant monster from your graveyard, and you can negate the effect of a face-up monster on the field.
This deck seems like it's kind of trap heavy with the mutant stuff.
Yes, sir. Very much trap heavy. And then we get into the Ghoti stuff.
Oh shit, your squids.
Starting with Gold Sark, obviously at 1. Banish monster from deck. Most of the Ghotis want to be banished and come back the next turn, so it ignores the 2 turn effect. They just come back on the next turn. Running 2 of Distant Deepest Depths. If you have a fish monster in your hand or in the graveyard, you can banish them, and you can add from deck to hand any other fish monster. If this is in the graveyard, you can, and this fish monster is special summoned to your side of the field, you can banish the fish monster and add this to hand. So it loops really easily if you know what you're doing. Running 2 of the Snopios. If you have 2 fish monsters either in your graveyard or in your hand, doesn't have to be at the same time. They can be in graveyard and in hand, or both in hand, both in graveyard. You can banish both to special summon, and when it's special summoned, you can target a card on the field. And if it leaves the field, it is immediately banished. You can target any card, and the other effect of it is if this card is banished for anything, whether it's an opponent's monster effect or by its own effect, you can target a fish monster in your graveyard, banish that one, and it adds it back to hand.
Why you be playing these squids though, bro?
What do you mean why I be playing these squids? These squids are dope, bro.
What you be doing with them though?
What do you mean? What you trying to say, bro?
I feel like you be doing something else with these squids, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
I feel like you be like the deep from the boys or some shit,
Oh
dog.
my god,
Bro, that ain't right, dog.
Oh my god.
I'm just worried about you sometimes.
Running 3 paces.
Jellyfish too?
Yes, sir. These are fish, dog. Oh, I'm sorry, goaties. Pronounced fish. If this is on the field and you have another fish monster in your hand, you can banish this to special summon it from hand. And then, as with most of the fish monsters that are used for synchro summoning, if they are banished on the standby of your opponent's turn after this is banished, it will special summon itself. If it's on the opponent's turn at any point during the main phase, you can synchro summon, and that leads into a lot of plays with the extra deck. Two shift. If this is in the graveyard and you control a fish monster, you can banish this to give that fish monster 500, loops it really easily, and then the same thing as paces, standby phase, comes back during the main phase, you can synchro summon. Running a single Zep, if this is banished during your opponent's turn, it can come back at any point, and it will immediately synchro summon after it comes back. So it is a very good interruption based on whether you can banish it during your opponent's turn or not. Running 2 Exeep, very good play starter for the Ghoties if you can get them out. If you banish a fish monster on your opponent at any point, even during your opponent's turn, you can special summon this from hand. Leads into very powerful synchro plays for the Ghoties. Running 1 Beautiful Princess.
I'm worried about you on that one, dog.
It is kind of sussy, I won't lie.
Look at them lips. What them lips do.
When it is normal special summon, you can banish it and special summon a level 4 lower fish monster, so it's pretty much just a Ghoti starter for your other small Ghoties.
What that mouth do?
And then the generals, 3 E-Tellies, can summon any of the mutant starters because they are level 4 and lower, and they get their on-summon effects, and then you can tribute them so they don't go anyway. Running the 1 Called By, the 1 Macro, and 3 D-Shifter, because you know we love banishing in this deck so much. Sometimes you can run a Dimensional Fissure if you think that'll work for you. Some of the extra deck monsters in Ghoti like to be in the graveyard, so sometimes it's not the best to banish, which is why I don't run Dimensional Fissure anymore, because you can activate Macro as a trap. So you can get your plays off and then activate Macro. Usually run Ash Blossom at 2, just Ash Blossom, staple card of course, and then running 3 Nib. And that is the main deck.
All right, bro. You got that little sussy ass fish in there, but I'm gonna let it slide this time. Just show me the extra deck now.
Yes, sir. So starting with the extra deck, we're gonna go Ultimus, Synthesis, 2 of Synthesis, 1 of Ultimus. Synthesis is any 2 attributes of mutant monsters, and then when it's summoned, on summon, you can pop a card on the opponent's side of the field, and then if an opponent activates any effect, whether it's monster, spell, or trap, you can chain this to make it unaffected by that card. They activate a monster effect, unaffected by monsters, trap and spell, same thing. And then you're looking at Ultimus, which is 3 of the level 8 or higher boss monsters for the mutants. No on-summon effect, but for each kind of mutant card that you control in your graveyard, trap, spell, and monster, if the opponent activates one of those effects, you can banish it from the graveyard and it will negate that effect. It is once per turn, but it's a very powerful boss monster at 35. Both of them have the effect where if they're destroyed by your opponent's cards, you can add cards back that are banished from your mutant cards. So they loop themselves pretty easily. And then for the Ghoties, looking at 2 Arianpus, level 6 synchro, can add from deck and banish when it's synchro summoned. So you banish Zep, you bring it out, and then when it's used as synchro material, you can banish 1 from deck and add that is a same or lower level. So you synchro with Zep because it's immediately after, go into usually one of the Oscons or White Aura Whale, and then immediately search from that. And then you're running 2 Oscon. If this card is synchro summoned, banish 1 fish on your side of the field, and then banish 1 card on the opponent's side of the field. And then if it's banished, you can target 1 fish in your graveyard, banish it, special summon, loops really easily with paces and stuff like that, because if you banish this, you can Ghost to banish paces, bring it back, loops really easily. Running 1 of Googlim and 1 of White Aura Whale, pops all attack position monsters, and then if it battles an opponent's monster, banish it during the damage step. Running 2, Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. If it's synchro summoned on your opponent's turn, banish all cards on the field, no matter where they are, and it gains 500 attack for all banished monsters. You're looking at the generals. You're looking at Chin Ying, because this is a banish deck, gains attack and defense based on the banishes, and your opponent loses attack and defense, and can banish based on what is banished on the field. Ruddy Rose, banish all in the graveyard, can activate D-Shifter off of this if you have it in hand. Psychic End Punisher, Mutant Synthesis, and any of the base Ghoti Synchro tuner monsters can go into Psychic End Punisher, which is a really powerful play if you need to OTK. Mathmech Final Sigma, if you get your Deep Beyond out and then have one of the other Ghoti tuners, you can get Final Sigma unaffected. And then, of course, Sprite Elf, because MO5 and most of the Ghoti starters are level 2. So you can get that out and then bring a monster back. And then the mutant monsters on your opponent's turn get their search off of being special summoned.
Okay. Sure, bro. Give me a quick rundown on your side deck, man.
Side deck, very easy. We're at 3 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, 3 Imperm, 3 Ghost Ogre, Harpies, 2 Cosmic, and 3-dimensional barrier.
I like it, bro. Not bad at all, man.